choking himself with a T-shirt and chasing his wife and his children around with a gun in his mouth.
And he did that, correct?
Yes. Yes. He twisted up he took off his T-shirt he was wearing, twisted it up, and put it around his neck and started choking himself. Yes.
And was he using the service revolver or his personal weapon?
It was his service revolver.
And they didn't fire him, didn't do anything about it?
No, they put him supposedly under investigation. They demoted him and made him go see a counselor. They suspended him, demoted him, and made him go see a counselor for 6 months. And
then put him right back to work.
Yeah, they put him right back to work, and now he has been re-promoted to corporal, and
Hold it. The same cop who was putting a gun in his mouth and choking himself and chasing you around the house with a gun, your wife and kid, they promoted him to corporal.
Yeah, and now he's promoted to detective.
We just received this phone call this week from a housewife who is married to a police officer who has been attempting to I guess commit suicide and maliciously threaten his wife with his police service revolver. He's both, according to his wife, placed the gun in his mouth and placed it against her head. As well, he's run around the house on many occasions, according to his wife, attempting to choke himself with a towel. This officer was just promoted. We want to take you back to the original phone call made more than a year ago, and you can listen for yourselves and gather whether or not this is a man who ought to be wearing a police uniform.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's just briefly go over a few of the things you told me. Just go back over this thing with your husband and the gun, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How many times did he do that? Basically, just, you know what, can you do me a favor and just walk me through the story once again?
Well, each and every one of them?
No, just the highlights. I mean, what I want to do is I want to take a recorded statement. I want to talk it over with my staff, and I want to see what we can do to try to address this without putting you out there and keeping your name out of it.
All right. He would only admit to doing the gun incident one time.
Okay.
Okay.
So he does, but he does admit to doing it at least once.
Yes.
Okay. Well, tell me what it is that he did. Just describe what happened, and then describe for me what the police department did about it.
Okay. You want me to go now?
Yeah, go ahead and just tell me now. And I am recording just this part so we can have a copy, so I can send it to my staff and we can go over it. So just tell me what.
Now this was a while ago, so that the facts may be a little fuzzy.
Okay.
But I can give you what I can remember.
Okay. Well, tell me what happened. I'm going to sit here and listen.
Okay. I did not trust him because he had multiple affairs on me during our marriage, and I saw him with other people. Neighbors saw him with other people. My sister saw him with other people. My grandmother saw him with other people, and we got into a discussion about his adulterous affairs, and he kept saying he wasn't doing it, he didn't do it, he didn't do anything, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I don't believe you, and I'm not going to talk about it. And he got upset, went upstairs, got his gun out of a lockbox that we have up on the top shelf in our closet, and went back down in the basement, loaded it full of bullets, came back upstairs with the gun, put it in his mouth, started chasing me around the house with the gun in his mouth, stating to me, is this what you want? Is this what you want? I proceeded to run up the stairs to my children because our son saw what was going on, and he ran into his bedroom, my son did, stating, I'm going to go live with my mom. I can't take it anymore. I'm living with mama.
How old was
he was only 4.
Your son was 4.
He was only 4 at the time.
Okay, he was 4 years old, but he knew enough to know that something wasn't right.
Exactly.
Okay, and he was yelling, "I'm going to go live with my mom. I'm going to live with my mom."
No, my mom.
Mom.
My mom.
Okay, got you. And your husband was.
It's my mom.
Okay, your husband was doing what with the gun at the time that your son made those comments?
Chasing me through the house with a gun in his mouth.
Was the gun loaded?
Chasing me. Yeah.
Okay, and he's a police officer or a sheriff's deputy, correct? He said, what was the name of the department?
County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, county. And when did you report it? When did you report these things to them, and what did they do about it?
Actually, I called him. I guess it was because I ended up, getting him to leave the house because I couldn't take it anymore. It was stressing me out, and it was a couple days later, and I just called him on his cell phone, and I told him, I said, either you call the sheriff's office and you tell him yourself to get yourself some help, or I'm calling. And after I had made that statement, I called the sheriff's office, and I believe I spoke to Lieutenant, and I told Lieutenant that I had told him to call and report it. If he did not report it, to call me back because I wanted to make a statement. And he did. I evidently called in later that night, early in the morning, and report it. And I don't know, this was probably about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And they did put him on administrative leave and had 2 psych evaluations done on him and made him go see a psychiatrist.
Okay. Okay, so they put him on administrative leave and made him see a psychiatrist. And how long did that treatment last, and what was the extent of the treatment as far as what you know?
It lasted for about 2 months, and I think he only had to go once a week. And the funny part about it is the counselor that he went to go see was actually a marriage counselor that him and I were seeing at one point. So I don't even see how he was qualified to handle that type of situation.
So they sent him to a psychiatrist or someone who also served as a marriage counselor?
Mm-hmm. And I don't even think he was really a psychiatrist. I think he's just a counselor.
Okay. And he works with the sheriff's department?
No.
Okay, who is this guy? Who does he work for?
He works for himself. His name, the counselor's name is.
Wow. And did they give him any additional? So he went to see this guy how many times, as far as you know?
I really don't know. I mean, at least once a week for a couple of months.
Okay. And he was on administrative leave that entire time?
Yes.
Was he still getting full pay?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think he could work overtime or anything like that, but.
Okay. All right. And has he had any other psychiatric treatment that you're aware of?
No.
Okay. All right. And this incident where he ran around the house with a gun in his mouth, how did it finally end? How did it end up? I mean, what happened?
Finally he settled down, and I scared him because he started chasing me up the stairs with the gun, and I turned around on the stairs, and I said, stop, and I was getting scared. My voice was getting choked up and shaky because I was running to my kids to make sure my kids were okay. And I turned around on the steps, and I said to him, stop, the kids are up here. And he stopped and went back down the stairs. And he went into the kitchen and sat down on the floor and put his head in his hands and a gun between his feet on the floor. He was squatting down on the floor, like crying. And then my daughter comes down, and I'm in the kitchen too, not saying anything. And I happen to walk back into the living room to check on my son. And I come back in the kitchen, and at this time, I guess our daughter might have been 8 or 9 months old. And she had picked up the gun from off the floor between his feet. And I started screaming at him to get the gun away from her. You stupid ass, pick the gun up away from her. And all he had to say was, it's not loaded.